Greetings, people of the interwebs. So, joining me once more are my co-hosts Dave and Jordan, and tonight we will be discussing Spider-Man. Now that Marvel has worked the deal out with Sony.
Tonight or the morning, or whenever you're listening to this
Spidey
podcast.
After Dark.
Yeah, Spidey After Dark. But yeah, now
Spidey
that
After Midnight.
Marvel will actually be able to have Spider-Man appear in the next Avengers movie, not Age of Ultron, obviously.
I've heard they actually are planning on introducing him in the next Captain America movie, Civil War.
Oh.
Which, if that's the case,
It would make sense
Comes
since there's a
out
pretty
next
pivotal.
year, right? 16.
I think it's Captain America.
Yeah.
But they wanted to do a solo Spidey movie
I
in
know,
2017, which is too soon. I don't know. Give us a chance to miss him a little bit.
Yeah.
Stop just kind of churning out.
Well, did we really miss him the last time? Because it was only
Good
5
point.
years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can always use Spidey. I love Spider-Man.
Well, I think the
did
thing
we
though,
miss him?
not so much miss, but I think it's like the anticipation
exactly.
of like, because I know for the longest time they wanted to do a fourth one with Tommy Maguire and that cast.
Mhm.
But then I also heard they just wanted to go ahead and reboot it because they were getting kind of
Yeah.
old, and you could tell they were burnt out by the third movie.
They
But
were.
now there's actually talks of. I don't think they'll
And you're
do
throwing
it.
Topher Grace out there. We're jumping the shark here, people.
As Venom, which
I don't think they'll do it, but there's talks of
Venom.
bringing Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
back, which actually kind of makes sense.
I've heard that.
If they're doing the whole Civil War storyline.
I'm going to disagree with you. I
Which if-
don't want Toby back.
Well, okay, we can get into it.
Yeah,
And
let's get into
that's
it.
definitely
Come on.
That's definitely a fair point. I think there are a lot of reasons why you wouldn't, but I think it makes the most sense if we're going Civil War because you need an established Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because for
Yeah.
those not familiar with the Civil War storyline,
But how many viewers are really going to be familiar with this Civil War storyline?
Probably not a whole lot.
I would say probably a lot. There will be a lot that won't be.
No, I mean like
I would
yeah,
say
I'm
that
talking
I said
about
the
like
majority would not be.
I'm talking about like your casual
Viewers.
fans, like your casual
Yeah.
fans who just
Well, yeah.
take the Marvel movies as they are. They don't
Like
really,
people that really don't read comics or have much about them, they just love going to see the movies.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to know what Civil War
No.
is.
Well, I
Besides
feel like
that
the
war from the
thousands of people that listen to this
1800s.
podcast.
Yeah, we will educate you.
Even
So
the-
Dave, feel
the
free
tens
to
of tens.
start
Well,
this off.
basically,
Educate these poor
Peter
people.
Parker is much older, which is why I want to go for, and we can get into that later too. But I would be up for an older Spider, not like an old Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but 30
Yeah.
or above Spider-Man is working for Tony
Well,
Stark.
Andrew Garfield's like 30.
Doesn't look 30.
No.
He was like 28
He'll be
or
32
something when they
like
first
this
cast
year,
him.
next year.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony Stark. It's basically Tony Stark and Captain America versus Captain America for the Superhero Registration Act.
Yeah.
So they want everybody with powers to sign up with the government and make their identities public. And Tony needs a big figure to kind of spearhead this movement. He's on the pro registration side of things. They have their different reasons. And it's well done.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Spider-Man and masks.
Yeah.
And I think for the effect of the movie, you kind of need somebody who's already established. But then there are kind of problems of why didn't he show up in the first Avengers? And
Yeah.
But I think it's not too
I
hard
mean, it
to
makes
suspend your
sense.
disbelief.
From what you're saying, it makes sense. I just don't know if it's the right thing to bring Toby
No,
back.
I'm not like gung ho, like bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as like comic book fans as we are,
Like I think you would need somebody established.
it would
but
make sense.
Yeah.
In that aspect, I just don't know if it's the right thing.
Plus, it would
especially because Marvel just got Spider-Man back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it would be kind of a way to salvage, I guess, some of what Sony's lost.
Yeah.
If they could somehow sort of write out the third movie, it would just be an accepted thing. Because I thought the first two were perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Third one got a bit dicey.
Yeah.
We all know.
As we tried to remake
We
in
don't
ninth
really
grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who would maybe know about that.
Probably
From the
Zero.
producers of Dracula.
Yeah, I'm sure
some
they're
sort
listening.
Of Troy movie. No, none of those guys are listening. But if you were in the know,
Let's bring Leonardo DiCaprio as Spider-Man. He was the second choice
honestly,
to
wouldn't
Tobey
be against it.
Maguire.
I wouldn't be against it at this point because he's older now.
I just don't think he would do it.
No, probably.
I'm all for a bit of an older Spider-Man because
Yeah.
I don't want to see another origin story.
No,
I'd rather
like,
see
that
an
is-
That's kind of what they've
established-
done with Batman. He's been older.
Yeah.
They haven't
But
gotten a really young Batman.
that is the one thing
I'm
that
thinking
will.
like 30-ish.
Yeah.
He's out of college. He's
He's
a
well.
bit
He's
more
settled in.
established.
He's settled in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will say this though, because again with
Mary Jane's already there. Let's just have that.
Let's not
Yeah.
have
Let's
another
not have a whole
love story,
courtship,
unnecessary
whatever.
love story that's
Yeah.
awkward.
So
We've seen it
It's
too
been
many times
established.
before.
yeah.
It's established.
Because again, as much again, we didn't need the origin story for The Amazing Spider-Man, but it was a really good movie though, because
Yes,
as we
I
discussed
enjoyed that
in
movie quite a bit.
previous podcasts,
You could really just do a voiceover, 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
That's the backstory.
Let Stan Lee do that.
Because again, that is the thing that everyone knows Spider-Man's origin, so it's just like all you really need is like oh, I'm Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, blah blah blah.
You know
here's
the
how it
story
got-
by now.
Cause that's pretty much how the '90s cartoon introduced Spider-Man. It's just
which
kind
is
of like, oh, here's
show.
Let's jump right in.
yeah,
Yeah, which I would also say, why don't we go for more of a '90s Spider-Man look?
Please.
Like he doesn't have to be the rail thin.
yeah,
Looks like he can't
Yeah.
beat anybody up.
yeah.
And rail thin, but somehow has a little bit of muscles and abs. Because
I think the camera kind of helped him out with that.
That seems to be the token transformation thing.
Those days, yeah. Yep.
Could
big
go
change.
with somebody a bit bigger and kind of like the '90s. That was the
It's
whole
like
'90s
Tobey
thing.
Maguire was
where
really
everyone was
short. And
gigantic.
Garfield's kind of tall. And it's like you just maybe something.
I mean, I
in
get
the
that the
middle.
character is small. He's not Thor,
Yeah.
but
No,
I feel like you don't have to be so
he can hold his own.
rigidly
Yeah.
attached to that sort of model.
Yeah,
Like, I think they should
I think it's more
shake
of
it
a
up a little bit.
it's more of a Hollywood thing too.
Yeah.
True, yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah.
But also, it kind of makes sense for like an older, if they did go with an older Spider-Man, like say in his 30s, where starting out Spider-Man's probably not in good shape in terms of like his physical size. Like obviously he's got the super strength, with the spider powers,
Yeah.
but so like after a while, because again Spider-Man kind of gets his butt kicked a bit, but every now and then by like some of his villains. So it's kind of like maybe I need to actually like physically bulk up just to kind of reinforce.
I think that would fit an older Spider-Man more because
Yeah.
He's been
I mean, he's
he
not
knows-
gonna
And
be-
and just
he
the
knows
fact
what he's
that
He
doing.
shouldn't be rail thin at like 30,
No.
30 35.
no.
No,
And just the
what
fact
is
that-
Christian
he couldn't
Bale
have
in the Machinist?
Yeah, and he couldn't have muscle really. Either
Yeah,
if he
and
was
just the fact
bad.
that fighting crime every night, that burns calories, that gets your muscles going,
Yeah.
gets you nice and toned and ripped.
even just
so.
swinging around, that's good
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah, so I think
That's chin-ups for him.
yeah, so I'm all for like a '90s look for Spider-Man and the
Yeah,
Marvel.
it was a bit
movies.
ridiculous, but
Yeah, because everyone just looked like bodybuilders.
Now I'm sure since we're commenting on his physique, we're gonna get hammered by someone on a message board telling us that we're completely wrong. But
whatever.
that's what we think should
Yeah.
happen.
whatever. We're just
These-
it's,
These are our opinions.
It's too
if you
early.
don't like them,
This is
shut
kinda-
up.
Yeah.
it's too early for anything
I
really.
mean, this
we
just
don't
got
know about the cast,
announced
but-
2 days ago, 3.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's the early stages.
So any names that we've heard or
We would
want to
I have
see
heard.
Spider-Man?
I have heard like the debate on like the possibility of bringing back Toby. Then I've also heard
or
they
Andrew
want to
Garfield,
do
but I kind of just
no.
where the last one was such
Yeah.
a bomb.
But also, I feel like I've also heard that they want to go with an unknown, which
Yeah,
I'd be
that's
open
what
to
I've
that.
heard. The articles I've read, it's unknown, and I looked at a list of some candidates. I really didn't recognize their names
Yeah.
because they're up and comers. They've been in a few of them have been in big films. I can't recall their names right now. Most of them, the top two candidates I looked at, they're about 23 years old.
yeah,
Yeah, the only one I've kind of seen that sort of looks the part that I'm vaguely familiar with is Logan Lerman. Well, he was just in Fury with Brad Pitt. Again, I'm not really that familiar with his work. I
Which
feel like he looks the part, but like I've said 1,000 times already, I'm more for a bit of an older Spider-Man. I don't, and it is a Hollywood thing. They want to skew young because they want this franchise to go on forever.
if they do go young, I'm all for an unknown, kind of like what Marvel likes to do.
I would prefer that if they're gonna go young. Get somebody I've never heard.
Again,
of.
just
don't do Zac Efron
will
or
surprise
something.
yeah. But Marvel.
I've seen him on a list or two.
The Marvel, if you're listening,
Unfortunately.
because we're gonna entertain the absurd
'Cause why would you be,
concept
really?
that Marvel is listening.
Hashtag
don't
why not?
don't do another origin story. We don't need it. It's not necessary. You're just wasting money and
Yes,
resources.
We can all agree on that.
Just whether you go with an older Spider-Man or
So who we want to see as an older Spider-Man? Then let's,
DiCaprio.
um,
I'm not totally against it,
I still think he'll do it.
but it's
No.
not going to be an Oscar movie, so he won't do it. It's not going to get nominated for anything.
Nice.
He's still trying to get one.
or this would be like the one movie where
Watch
does-
him get it. Watch him
Scorsese's
get it.
Spider-Man.
Oh, that would be awesome.
yeah, I'd be up for it.
Cameron Diaz is Mary Jane.
No,
What?
I don't like Cameron Diaz.
She's older than
I'm not-
DiCaprio.
Whoa.
I'm just not a huge fan of hers.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. Just
All right.
nothing against her.
That's a whole
change
new
the subject
that's a
before I
whole
wring your
different
neck.
podcast.
Before I wring your neck. change the
I didn't know
subject.
you
Change-
felt so passionate.
Yes, I
dude.
do
I'm
very much.
experiencing
My
technology.
cousin. Shout out to my cousin. She knows what I'm talking about.
Okay. If you're listening, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
All right.
but
Sensitive over here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can feel the tension, but
I just walked out and I walked back in.
we had to pause.
We have to
this.
describe this because this is not video.
Yeah, he threw a chair out my window.
Yeah, we just edited the sound out.
Yeah.
A Bobby Knight your house.
Yeah. Don't get the reference, but
because you don't like
actually
sports
do.
ball.
I know.
Actually, do get it. I knew he was one of those sports ball fellas you're so passionate about. But anyway, a name I saw on the list maybe threw me a little bit, but I'm all for Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
He's certainly a good enough actor to pull off. He's got he's got the likability factor.
Yeah.
He's kind of
he can
almost
do the
a
humor.
mixture of like the Toby and Andrew.
Yeah, he can do the humor.
Good middle ground.
I mean, he's the right age for what I would want. Yeah, I'm a fan all around, so I'd definitely be up for it.
And also with Spider-Man, he doesn't have to be like in high school or college to.
No, I feel like they're too stuck on that idea.
He even in the '90s show, like he was fighting villains up until like pretty much after he graduated college and got married with Mary Jane. So it's like he can fight crime just fine in his 30s.
Fight crime long after he's in high school.
Yeah,
Of course.
I mean, if you're so dead set on like having him fighting still in high school or college, just do like little flashbacks.
Yeah, well, and if they are going to go that way too, I would hope they would go more the Ultimate Universe route, which is kind of what Avengers and everything else is sort of based on. Because it's a bit of a different take. Would be a bit fresher from what we've seen in the past 5 movies.
But we can all agree that Mary Jane will be the love interest.
Yeah, I mean she's classic.
I think that's the only character we actually have had an opportunity to miss.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, she was supposed to be in like the second one. Then they took her out, and they're like, "Okay, you'll be in the third." And then obviously, it's not gonna happen. So, I don't even think they were gonna put her in the third. Or as of right now, if they thought they were doing it,
Or here's another thing. I don't know why I can't think of her name, but the one who becomes the Black Cat.
Felicia Hardy.
Yeah, Felicia.
Yeah, because mostly like
they brought her into the third one. Or the second, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, with a build-up for her to be Black Cat. She was just like some secretary or something, but it was...
Because
Ron Howard's daughter?
No,
she was,
Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
Felicity Jones, I think.
Yeah,
is getting a lot of buzz for that Stephen Hawking movie right now.
But, because, I remember just watching in the TV show, when Spider-Man was, like, when Mary Jane kind of disappeared, he's kind of like...
I like Black Cat.
Yeah. Like,
She's hot.
It's like the whole...
It's a good element.
And also she had the whole super serum injected into her, like, Steve Rogers, a.k.a. Captain America.
Who?
A.k.a. Chris Evans.
Yeah, Chris Evans. So I'm sure they could tie that in somehow, or maybe, like, build that up into the story.
Yeah, I would like to see more... I don't want to see Green Goblin again.
Yeah,
I'm done with the Goblin.
No,
I like Goblin. Let's get Hobgoblin.
Let's get Phil
Hobgoblin would be
Ulrich
great.
Let's get some...
Or
Lars Ulrich playing Phil Ulrich.
Yeah.
He's doing acting now. He's actually not horrible. He's a decent actor.
I'm the Hobgoblin.
From like the one movie I've seen.
But yeah, I mean, again,
crossover for human talent.
Spider-Man's got a plethora of villains you could use that would hold their own in a film. You don't have to bring in like the big guns and use his main villain right off the bat.
John Goodman, Kingpin.
I mean, Kingpin.
Just throwing it out there.
I'd leave Kingpin more for Daredevil.
That means he'll die in like a few years, though.
Okay.
I
like John Goodman. Throw him in.
All right.
He'd work as.
I like to see Kraven the Hunter. He killed Spider-Man.
Yeah, Kraven's cool.
Yeah. A lesser known villain, but with Marvel, they clearly have proved they can do whatever the hell they want.
I guess with this this third reboot now, I kind of want to see some characters I haven't seen yet. I don't want to keep seeing the same interchangeable people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat.
But since it's going ahead and going forward, honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just did what they're doing with Avengers, saw all of that out, and just kind of forgot about Spider-Man for a while. But since it's going ahead and going, here, we're talking about it now. But of course, I don't know. I think my level of caring will depend on the casting at this point.
Of course,
Of course, I'll go see Avengers and whatever he's going to appear in. But I don't know about the solo Spider movies at this point. But.
Yeah, because again, I feel like I don't know, like the fact that like they'll try to reboot it, like from the very an origin. It's just kind of like no, don't. It's
just why do you keep?
Yeah,
I mean, this will be that keeps failing.
What they want it to be 2017 possibly for this one.
Yeah,
that'll be the third Spider reboot in 15 years.
It's like you can reboot it without doing an origin
What
story.
other franchise?
2002, 2012, 2017.
You don't keep remaking the same movie.
And again, it's just
like that's never happened.
No, and again, in my opinion,
15-year
within such a small amount of time.
Yeah, and again, in my opinion, to reiterate what I was saying earlier, it's just a waste of resources and money for them to make this big budget movie for an origin story that we all know.
Right.
Just go ahead and.
The studios know the first one's always going to do good because
no matter what.
Because you never, money wise anyway, you never know.
I just think it's kind of
because it's the mystery factor. Is it going to be good? So it's going to do well.
Yeah, it's crazy and funny how Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out just not even 3 years ago and had such a big buzz about it.
Yeah.
The second one just came out this past summer, and it's already just gone like that. That's just how fast they were to pull the plug.
It's a bit of an alarming precedent, I suppose.
Yeah. It's just like because usually some franchises in the past were like, well, maybe our third one can get it back to the level of the first, but they're like, nope. Yeah. It's time to start new.
Granted, Daredevil's been a long time coming, but they took the appropriate amount of time off.
Listen to our Daredevil podcast, too.
Yeah. And some of our other ones. We've done a lot of Marvel.
If you didn't listen to that one, you're definitely listening to this one.
For you Marvel fans, we've done plenty of Marvel videos. And
maybe not enough. But
maybe not enough.
Let us know.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Like any other things you all would like to bring up?
Yeah. Any other villains?
I'd be all for
casting other people.
I'd be all for
Venom.
Should
bring back for sure. I think most people, this is kind of a unanimous opinion. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he was perfect for Jonah Jameson.
One of the most perfect castings in movies in general.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those where it's like they ripped him from the pages.
Oh yeah. Like he had the he had the look. He had the perfect mannerisms and everything.
Yeah, the look, the voice, the mannerisms.
Yes.
Well, when I read the comics, I picture his voice just screaming it at me.
Which is rare. You don't really do that with a lot. The only one I really do that with is Kevin Conroy's Batman and Mark Hamill's Joker.
Who was phenomenal.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't know.
And
Luke
also
Skywalker
Hobgoblin.
Was Joker.
And Hobgoblin in the 90s Spider-Man show.
Yep.
That's right. So he does have a Spider-Man connection.
Yeah.
Sweet. Bring him on.
Yeah, again, his voice work is amazing, but
yeah, anyway, villains we might want to see playing certain villains.
I would be
because that's what people want to know.
I'd be cool with
people criticize us for
Jamie Foxx.
That'd be cool if
who would he be better suited to play?
I just don't
Jamie
think
Foxx is a good actor.
He was just miscast.
It was a bad part, and his dialogue was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why.
Maybe like another Dr. Octopus, because I really like Dr. Octopus.
Okay, who would we want to see play Dr.
Octopus? Because I really liked Alfred Molina.
He's a good character.
I thought he did really good. He did the character justice.
Yeah, I had no problem.
I like the Lizard. I just don't know who could do him justice right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it's too soon, but I do like the character, and I like the. I think if they're gonna
eventually, I would like to see him.
I'll say
that. Maybe not this first or second film, but
I think it was one
I'd like
of
to see him.
Things the first trilogy kind of did right. They were trying to build it out. That's what makes the Lizard such a good villain, because Peter has such a good relationship with Doc Connors.
It's like again the same thing with Octavius. I think he was his
bit of a mentor type deal.
I don't know, like just
which when you have that emotional connection.
The only one that's popped in my head just for the sole fact that Dr. Octopus is German, they could get Christoph Waltz maybe. I mean, granted he's Austrian.
I don't know if he'd do it.
No, but
and, everybody's trying to jump on this train right now.
Yeah, I think he'd do fine though. But again, I think I mostly just jumped to him just because he's Austrian, so he speaks German, so he'd have the accent down.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry if he can act or not. He can definitely pull it off.
Dave Franco as Harry Osborn.
I could honestly see it. But,
or James. He wants to.
Why not bring James back?
Yeah.
If we're gonna bring Toby back,
now.
Jeez. Yeah. Let's get a really hot Mary Jane.
Yeah, who do we want as Mary Jane?
Margot Robbie.
I think she'll be a better Harley Quinn, but I would never say no.
Kate Upton.
Not exactly what I picture, but why not?
I'm trying to think.
I was thinking of women with assets.
I'm trying to think of like a young.
This is what the studios are saying right now.
Yeah.
it can't be that far off.
We're giving you an inside look.
Yeah, we're giving you our opinions, and we know our comic books, not to brag, but you should listen to us.
Delved into a comic book or two in my day.
Yeah.
I've read a couple issues.
I read the funnies.
Spider-Man, Garfield.
Read the Garfields.
Beetle Bailey. I mean, come on.
I'm kind of actually drawing blanks here on like a young, fresh face for.
What did you say? Shooting blanks?
Mary Jane.
Not with Mary Jane.
Let
me see.
Feel
it
free
doesn't
to-
have to be a redhead. Anyone can dye their hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone.
Redheads would be preferred.
Yes,
But
the
I'm
ginger
at-
race,
Redhead,
preferably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christina Hendricks.
Yeah.
A little old for it, but
I don't care. Put her
I
in
don't care.
anything.
I
I'll
think she
watch
could
it.
sell the attitude, though.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that's a big thing that Kirsten
All right,
Dunst didn't really
we've come
get.
to a consensus. Christina Hendricks.
Actually, now that I've said it, totally not. That was the first redhead that popped into my mind. But if you watch Mad Men at all, I think definitely know she can sell the attitude part of it. And
Even if you don't watch Mad Men, know who she is. Google her.
Google. You'll thank us later.
Yes. Good God, that woman is gorgeous. But yeah, she would work if they went with an older Spider-Man.
For sure.
Certainly.
So, boom.
That's our vote for it.
Yeah.
It's our vote.
Older Spider-Man, Christina Hendricks as Mary Jane.
But,
John Goodman is the Kingpin. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Spider-Man.
honestly,
Dave Franco is Harry Osborn.
honestly, I really don't know a whole lot of young actors that are on the up and coming. If they do go the young route, so I'm kind of just sitting back and waiting to see what will happen these next several months, because there's going to be a lot of news and a lot of rumors floating around, so we got to be ready.
Yeah, I kind of just want them to get it over with.
Yeah, it's like it
just
seems
a
like I mean it was
bog
just
of,
announced, but I kind of feel like this has been coming for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they probably will go young.
Yeah.
And
I don't blame them.
Yeah. But don't need
I
another
blame
origin
them.
story. That's the only thing. I feel like I have to keep bringing that up because again, we don't need another origin story.
Yeah.
Please support this, viewers. Because
Send this.
do you really need?
We know
another
someone
origin
out
story?
there listening, cousin's friend, has like some little job at Marvel Studios. That can pass this information along.
Yeah.
hey, I have like a second or third cousin who used to animate for Disney, so
For real?
yeah.
Oh.
Thought I told you guys that.
I remember
We're
you
having a
told me
weird
that.
personal moment.
Yeah. But you're getting to know us as people. You're not just seeing us as like our voices.
I was just hired in a few months ago. I really don't know these guys.
We met him off the street. He's like he seems like a likable guy.
We're trying to.
We brought an unknown to
build
our
that
studio.
illusion.
Yeah, I'm the unknown here.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he lives.
China.
He had no resume.
But I was like, you know what? He looks like a young, likable guy. Let's bring him in.
All right.
And it's been working out pretty good so far.
Thanks. I feel good now.
Yeah.
It's turned into a weird little therapy session here.
Again, we're trying
still
to
on?
we're trying to get.
I thought you clicked off.
No.
Sorry.
It's after dark. We don't.
We're introducing the fans to us as people who don't know
Weird
us.
time to do it. Like 60 videos in, but
Whatever. They got to know eventually. But to bring us back on topic, any other thoughts on I guess like story wise, what we'd like to see in a Spider-Man?
I guess looking back,
I just hope it's well established.
Yeah.
By then, like, you give the short little backstory,
Yeah,
what he's doing now, and it's
let's
just
get
kind of
right
like
into it.
everyone knows. Let's just get into this thing.
Yeah.
Let's bring the conflict and story and let it flow from
like
there.
to see more of not necessarily a villain origin story, but kind of focus more on what the villain's doing, why we should care about that.
Yeah, don't throw in like 3 villains the last 30 minutes of your film.
One is sufficient. Like make us, if you need 2 other villains to, fill it out.
Probably not a good
Your
sign.
first one's not, why would you use 3 lesser
exactly.
guys? And again, as you've said, Marvel can do whatever. They can take anybody, any obscure villain they want, update him,
Make him cool.
or her.
Yeah.
You could throw a little Madam Web in there.
I don't
Get
know
some
if she
crazy
is
stuff.
so much a villain, but yeah. I mean,
Could
I
throw in a
wouldn't
lot
say
of crazy
she's
stuff
good
with
either.
that.
at the
Yeah,
same
no.
time.
she's just kind of
Go different.
there.
But obviously, there's tons of speculation we can have, and who knows once more
I
stuff.
feel like I know more of what I don't want to see right now.
Yeah,
than what I do want to
once
see.
more stuff gets announced, we can probably even come back into this and discuss it
Yeah,
more.
definitely.
Castings.
Oh yeah, definitely. We probably will. We'll
so
update it. Or
part 1 of our little New Spider-Man.
Spidey After Midnight.
And you guys are more than welcome to comment, because we need to see more comments. See what you all think.
Give us your casting suggestions.
You guys have been doing good on the views. Let's get a little more feedback, please.
Yeah. Which, thank you IMDb message boards for giving us some criticism.
Appreciate you guys.
I feel like some people are maybe a bit too overly critical. But, whatever. It's still feedback.
I'll take it.
Yeah. It wasn't negative per se. It's just kind of.
They don't know us.
I mean, the Fantastic
that's
Four.
why we're these little intimate moments.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four one was a bit much, but whatever. That's a whole other thing.
It was more passionate, I'd say.
Yeah. I feel like they were like the one.
I welcome all comments. Really,
yeah.
As long as let's have a discussion. We'd like to get
some
Skype
comments.
You
We'll Skype you in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing we'd like to do. Interactive. If you people are
we'll have
fans,
by all means,
we'll have our fan of the week, and they can Skype us.
Yeah.
So
it's doable.
If you want to be the first one, let us know.
Yes, please.
It's not that hard.
And we'll try to not act surprised that you phoned in.
Phoned in, our email, our
Twitter, Facebook page, Pasty Pale Productions.
Like us on the Facebook. Like us on the Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter.
Of course, like, comment, and subscribe. And I think
Thanks
we'll
for listening.
Wrap this up, everybody. So until next time, everyone, cheers.